Through the good and the bad, always remember to smile. When times get tough and you feel alone or confused, pick up the phone and call someone you love. Always put God first and love yourself before you love anybody else. This game called life can be real shitty at times. It can get real gritty, but it's up to us to stick together and help each other strive and live for greatness. This isn't just your regular podcast. Welcome to the jungle. Welcome to the struggle. Welcome to new beginnings. Welcome to this game called life.
Real legendary shit. An honor, actually, an honor.
And I get you higher.
Cheese and honey. Yeah? Poison. Sorority. Kick a can.
This that early 2010s.
Yeah?
That early 2010s vibe. You know what I mean?
But it's legendary though.
Oh yeah. I remember like performing this, going on tour. We performed this a couple different places like around Canada and shit. I remember Orangeville and Doonberry as well. Like those small towns had the most whores. It was crazy. Oh yeah, not every show can handle that. Or me, you know.
Yo, I need to get my intro popping right now.
Yeah,
listen, alright? Rich Kid credentials, alright? Canadian hip hop recording artist, record producer, film video director, multiple nominee Junos, solo artists, as a group, 2013 formed a project, Naturally Born Strangers with collaborators Tona and Adam Bomb. The group debut release, Legends League presents Naturally Born Strangers. What's up with that?
Yeah.
Beat up P. Rain.
Yeah.
Films in the Toronto Film Festival.
He doesn't go by, he goes by Primo.
Goes by Primo.
Yeah.
God, listen.
Because I said P. Rain to some of my youths and they're like, who?
He goes,
and like they know him as Primo.
So, you guys beat up.
Shout out Primo.
Shout out Primo. Shout out Yo. Let's make some noise for the original Rich Kid, man.
Thank y'all.
Shout the boy out, man.
Thank you. And big ups to y'all, man. Like, you know, you guys, I've known you guys for years on years, more than like close to 2 decades.
Yeah, for sure.
I would say. You know, so big ups to y'all for coming together and bringing a production like this.
Thank
together,
you.
You know.
Number one, thank you, because your busy schedule and you made it happen for us.
Making time.
And you're taking the time out, and you're obviously already know it's love from day uno, so that means a lot to us.
I just mainly love it because I love seeing my niggas expand into different avenues of the entertainment. You know what I'm saying? And podcasting is that new world, you know.
For sure.
You know, Peanut's about to start his podcast too on skill trades and
That's
shit like
what's
that.
up.
So
Shout out to Peanut.
I love how all the niggas from the hood are like doing different podcasts about different things that
Right.
I mean not just the same kind of shit where niggas just talk about music or celebrities, but like real shit that can impact people. So.
That's what we're really trying to bring to the table. Is I feel like everybody here in this room has definitely been through it all in a sense of life, and that's exactly where I kind of got the title of this game called Life, because we're really just trying to, tap in, bring forward positive energy, trials and tribulations, everything that we've all been through.
Just ways to get through it.
Yeah.
So, leading into my first question for you was, how was your love and passion for music created? And how did you manage to get your first production track with Frank and Dank? Get it right. I think that was like 2009, I feel.
Always had a love for music. I feel when, I was coming up as a youngin', I loved like art, drawing,
right,
and music. So I'd always be drawing little comic books and stuff. Like when I was going to Christ the King,
Christ the King. Shout out Christ the King. That's my elementary school.
Yeah.
Shout out Christ the King.
I'm gonna bring up some things that are very triggering. You're gonna go back. You're gonna go back to certain things. You're gonna go. It's gonna take you back.
Yeah.
You're like a fucking time travel machine.
Yeah.
So I remember I was in what's her name, Mr. Coney.
Mm-hmm.
That was my teacher, and this is when I first moved to Ridge.
Right.
So, grade 6, I got suspended for like drawing this comic book. And it had all my friends in it, and it was just some wild shit going on, some crazy adventures and shit like that. A lot of bad language.
Right.
And we're just gonna, bounce right back into it.
Yeah, like nothing never happened. So, like I was saying, grade 6, Mr. Coney's class. I made a little comic book and put all my friends. I was a real creative kid. I'd make up all these adventures that me and my friends would go on, and a whole lot of vulgar language,
Right.
Inappropriate shit happening. And the teacher seen that. I remember she brought the whole class came to the office.
The whole
She's like-
class.
and she's like, "Which one of you helped Richie write this?" And, and like nobody would snitch on me. But nobody helped me write it so they couldn't snitch on me, and they already knew it was me. Like
They were on that mental like you were.
My name was all over it. I don't know why they called everybody to the office. But it was pretty dope.
It sounds like a Christ the King thing to happen. Like, you know what I'm
Right,
saying? Like,
right.
yo, everybody come to the office.
Right.
Someone drew a comic book.
School was mad weird. But I got suspended, and then my mom put me in a little art school that was like at Mississauga Road in Dundas. You know, that little place that I guess now turned into, I guess, U of T.
Right.
But it was like
Shout out to moms.
There's a little, because she was always wanted to promote my creativity.
Right. For sure.
So my dad being a DJ as well.
Okay.
I always was exposed to music, so I always wanted to find ways to fuse the two, like me doing art and me creating songs or whatever. So,
Right.
when I started on my first mixtapes, we on some rich kid shit.
Yes.
I was designing my own covers. I figured out how to use Photoshop and shit. I looked at whatever I could find on like Yahoo back in it. It was probably Yahoo. It wasn't even,
this
it wasn't
is the
even
thing.
Google. You go on Yahoo.
This is the thing with you, is that, like, you're talking earlier about like Charlie P being a trendsetter, but like you were with the shits before the shits was happening.
Facts.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
You dug deep, man.
the airbrush Air Forces and the airbrush on the T's and like the whole, like, you, like, before Google was Google, you were on
I
it.
still the airbrush
My
shit.
nigga, House Arrest?
The house, the airbrush shit. I still have to give that up to fucking Fells, man. 'Cause Charlie fucking he was the first one to do the airbrush shit. And I was like, okay, let me airbrush my fucking jeans, rotten ones. Like, I have what was it, FUBU jeans?
Yeah.
Jeans.
And it was like rotten ones on
Yeah.
each leg and R&R on the fucking
R&R,
back.
you know the vibes.
You know, it was the era
Them
of
80
like,
boys.
Always repping
80 boys. It was-
the ridge from the, like,
You know, you had to,
jump,
right? Like
man.
it was the era where you fucking had to customize your shit.
No, I got one for you. Who invented Ridgeway, Canada?
Ridgeway, Canada.
You don't remember when you dropped that one time?
What do you mean?
You were the first to bring up Ridgeway, Canada.
Oh, like just as a place.
As a-
You know what? I coined the Greater Ridge area.
Okay.
Yo.
So there's Ridgeway, and then there's the Greater
Twin
Ridge.
Towers?
You know, like no, the Greater Ridge area is not Twin Towers. That's Ridgeway.
That's
You guys disrespect
all
the Twin
right.
Towers, but the coldest man came from the Twin Towers. But I mean, like the outskirts. You know, like when you're going into the neighborhood.
Right.
You know what I mean? More down Colonial, or you're going down to All Saints. That's the Greater Ridge area.
Yeah,
Understood.
I'll go down All Saints. All Saints I never even really considered
Right.
Ridge. All Saints.
It's not, but that's the thing. Ridgeway now
But it took off,
continues.
though.
Now it's across the highway.
Yeah.
It's on the next side
Yeah.
now.
No cap, no
There's
cap.
a car. We got a car wash.
They got the Loyola there, all the new Loyolas right there.
Man, bro, if they would have moved that shit when we were,
Battery Central.
Menace to society is there, bro. And honestly, I'm not gonna lie to you, Rich. Growing up, being the only Latino on the block, and
besides Mex and them,
besides Cindy and the bands,
Cindy and
shout out to Cindy,
Flacco, and
shout out to
Mex,
all of them. But I saw how you were on the block musically, and it really did
get me into my music career, as far as not career, but my music mentality, where I was freestyling and I was on the block and I was like, you know, doing the rap thing because I seen you there. You were at Loyola too. I remember you at Loyola. You're probably grade 13 at the time. You probably took an extra year.
No,
I was grade 9.
Nah.
I was grade 9. You're in grade 12, I believe. You're a senior at Loyola.
Yeah, no, I was in grade 12. I didn't do an extra year. One, they got rid of grade 13 by the time I hit grade 9.
Okay.
So they got rid of OAC. And then when I hit grade 12, I was behind in my credits, but I did extra classes. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to do a victory.
Right.
Because most of my niggas was leaving like,
Yeah.
Everyone's
fucking
gone.
Chris. Like, I hung out with some niggas from my grade, but most of the niggas that were from my hood were in the older grade. So I didn't want to.
But
I
remember,
they were younger niggas, but like,
Yeah.
I just, you know,
I remember
just
seeing you
wanted to
there.
get the fuck out of there. I was just like, I'm done with high
I'm
school.
done with this shit.
I'm ready to move on to the next
You know what I
stage
mean?
of my life.
I'm ready.
That
to
was
get
a
the
long
fuck
road
outta
for
here.
you, Rich.
High school was a long road. So, and that's the thing. I remember I went to, you know, they locked me up the day of my exam. I went to Sim. Sim had a going away party because he was going to England to play
go
soccer.
soccer.
So I
shit.
went there, and then
Shout out Sim.
Shout out
Shout out Sim.
Holy
Shout out
man.
Simeon
Mr.
Jackson.
Yes,
Simeon
sir.
Jackson.
Nah.
You know the is, nigga.
Yeah, bro. Shout out Simeon Jackson. So we went to his party, and then me and Ems, we
sure.
left. Why them pull us over? They're like, yeah, if you have any weapons or alcohol in the car, let me know, and I'll let you. Because they pulled me out. They found out I was on curfew. They're like, yo, if you tell us what's in the car, we'll let you go. I'm like, there's nothing in the car. We don't have any weapons, They didn't find anything. They still took me to jail.
Fucking lying ass niggas. These lying ass niggas.
This is no deal pill.
Yeah,
There's
you know the
no-
vibes.
there's
Deal
literally
pill.
there's no deal you can give them. It's really
Yeah.
if someone pissed in their
If you're
cereal
black
that morning.
or if you're fucking, you know what I'm saying?
if you're a nigga, just
No, if you're in
Yeah,
the
bye.
greater
might as
Ridge
well
area.
assume the position.
No,
Yeah.
if you're in the greater Ridge area,
yeah.
assume the
But that's,
position.
Yeah,
but
bye-bye.
that's the thing. I wasn't even there. I was like,
Right.
I was like, actually in these ends, I was like Lakeshore and fucking Cawthra, Lakeshore and Hurricane.
That's actually upper echelon area
Right.
from where we're at.
But it's Peel, bro.
Yeah.
You ain't.
It don't
you
matter.
Ain't safe until you leave Peel. You
Yeah.
gotta pass the 427 or Steeles.
No
or fucking
deal,
Winston
deal.
Churchill. These are the borders,
Yeah.
or the lake if you want to go on the water.
yeah.
You know what I mean?
If you know how to swim.
So yeah, so I remember I went to the Bing and then I got out and then got an exemption, and then there was one more credit I needed, and I know this teacher, Miss Candeloro.
Oh my gosh.
The worst.
Yo.
The worst. You know how in every high school there's that fat teacher
Yeah.
that's just mean?
They ain't getting no play.
She's
get no
upset
play,
with
they
her
get
life,
no
so she takes
pussy.
it out on you.
Oh, Miss Candeloro was that bitch. And it was law. Dog, imagine going. You remember when they used to bring police in for a certain class of law? Imagine the officer that arrested you.
Oh, shit.
You know, I was active. You know, I mean, I was fucking around. I was,
Oh,
you
you
know,
about that life.
You know, I was
Don't
fucking
play-
around.
you about
so it's
that
just
life.
Like the officer that fucking arrested me is coming into class taunting me, and then fucking, I remember I went to the office for something, and then he comes in there. He's like, "Oh yeah, this is where you belong." Ha. So I'm just like, yeah. So I go outside and I fucking slash his tires. I was with Crizzy. Crizzy was watching. He's like, "What are you doing?" I was like, "Fuck this."
I'm telling this guy to fuck off right now.
And then took a picture on top of the. I still have the picture.
No way.
Took a picture on top of the cop car. I always wanted to use it as a mixtape cover, but I didn't.
That would have been an
I wanted
epic.
I wanted to get past the statute of limitations. I know, they'll come for me somehow.
Oh, they're
Yeah.
coming.
You know what I mean? So I
Some
was,
way-
they're coming.
some way, somehow.
So I never used it, but that was the shit I was going through in high school. That kind of you know what I mean? There was things trying to derail me from actually graduating, but
Right.
I got the exemption, and then when that teacher, Miss Candeloro, she failed me with a 48 because I missed that exam.
Yeah, 48, of course.
But it's with a 48, they should still lean you towards a 50.
Of course.
The principals hit me up the next day. She's like, "Yo, Rich, I know you've been trying to get you've been trying to graduate. We've seen how hard you've been working. I'm gonna let you graduate. I'm gonna get you that. I'm gonna tell her to give you that credit." Man, you don't know what dance I was doing. So many dances. I was doing the worm on the floor.
You were in the Bobby
doing Harlem
Shmurda before the
Shake.
Bobby Shmurda.
Come on.
I was trying to do backflips, almost bust my neck. It was crazy. And then went to prom. You came to prom.
No. Prom? Yo, I need to hear about y'all niggas prom, though.
This nigga's not, he didn't even go to Loyola. He didn't even go to my school. He just came to my prom.
But see, PT's one of them niggas that, like, he don't go to the school, but he'll show up at your prom, though. Yeah. Flexing.
Yeah, I look like $1 million too.
He was there.
I had a matching green hat with the matching green tie.
No.
Right. Goo was there. Dre was there.
Yeah.
Bro, the hood was in full effect, man.
Yeah, I got to turn up on my OGs for sure. Though.
And then we went to Sheridan dorms.
Dorms.
We fucked that shit up.
Fuck that shit up.
We fucked that shit up.
Actually, bringing up Sheridan, I remember working for Sheridan Student Union, and you were on the tour with Sunreal.
Yeah.
You were doing the closers, and we actually ended up having a show at the Brampton location.
Yes.
And there was it wasn't like it was
small.
It was very small, but you were there, you were present, and you kept it all the way real like you always did. You did your performance, you're there, you're chilling.
Yeah.
And like that's actually a very fond memory that I actually did have. Yeah. Of the time where, like, you being an artist, being on tour with Sunreal. How was that stage as far as going on tour? Was that your very first tour that you had ever done?
No, it wasn't my first tour, but it was like the the East Coast part of the tour, because we did a West Coast. We went to Victoria, Vancouver, Edmonton, Calgary, Lethbridge. We did dates there, and then we flew to Toronto. Toronto was our last date. We did St. Catharines. What else? All those cities. Hamilton, Brampton. So Brampton was the Sheridan one. We did a whole bunch of shit on the East, and I would say that the shows on the East were lighter than the shows on the West, but they were still all dope, like, because they were all like fans that actually like loved the record. Definitely. Came with the record, like they bought them from the HMV and shit
that's
like that.
dope.
We signed that shit. I was signing titties and shit like that. Like, made me feel like a little miniature rock star. It was dope.
One of your most classic outputs of music, I feel, was "We On Some Risk Kid Shit," which you had said earlier, and it was a 7-volume mixtape series.
Yep.
Totaling, I think, nearly 100 features. Within those 7 mixtapes, I think you had 100 features on that. How was the creative process and vision around such an intense, and I feel like a classical musical project? Like, how did you put that all together?
The first one started with just, compiling all the stuff that I did for other artists like Frank and Dank. So, like,
and people don't know about Frank and Dank.
Yeah, you were.
Like, I shouted out Frank and Dank. Like, that's like way back payback. Like, you gotta do your homework.
Not too many.
Detroit, right?
They're from Detroit. The producer known as Jay Dilla, the legend, legendary.
I'm telling you, did my homework, man.
Bang, bang, bang. So Frank from Frank and Dank is cousins with Jay Dilla, and they were signed to him. They were kind of like doing a lot of shit on his beats. They were part of like that collective,
right?
But they came up to Toronto to kind of get a deal and see if they could break through in this market, because I feel like with America, like American artists at that time were looking at like, yo, this shit is saturated,
right?
Sure. Especially being from Detroit, it's hard. They have a scene, but not really like not like how Motown was back in the day, where they're putting out all the music in America. Like,
the platform was very thin.
Everything moved to LA, right? So like they were having a hard time breaking out. So they came to Toronto. They signed with Universal up here, and my manager at the time, Courtney, he knew Ivan Evidente, who worked in the marketing department of Universal and also signed Frank and Dank.
Okay,
and he showed him some beats. Like, I feel like that's what began me, I guess everybody thinking like my type of beats, and which
I like making those type of beats, but the soulful type of shit.
Yeah.
They're like, like, because they put it out on the radio. The sample
You were
shit.
telling me that he used to see you see you at the crib, and you wouldn't leave until you had made 4 or 5 beats.
Yeah. He was, you know.
Fruity Loops. Shout out to Fruity Loops, I feel.
Prime was a regular at the crib, so, you know, he already knows. But, yeah, like, that even that joint wasn't no sample. Like, it was just the soulful feel of the beats.
Right.
Like, people like that, where they could speak life on my beats. Like,
Yeah.
you know, I made up-tempo beats, I made gutter beats, but it seemed like everybody loved the soul ones.
Definitely.
So that was kind of like my vibe in the city.
Okay.
So then that's what everybody kind of gravitated to, and they wanted that kind of sound at that time for me. But that's what kind of got me into the game of production, because before that I was rapping with Rotten Ones, and I was still making beats, but I was still trying to figure out how I was gonna get it out there. And
how did you find that like that soulfulness? I think your dad was a DJ in the music, but like having to figure that out all on yourself at the time, dumb times, no YouTube, no nothing, like just straight grittiness.
Just working with it, man. Like you know, you remember I used to
put in the work, man. I tell them all the time, man.
Yeah. I'd make beats and then come to the block and play it for y'all niggas.
Facts.
Yeah.
And then
No cap.
niggas would be rapping to it.
Yo, you remember this beat?
I'm assuming that was one of mine.
Yo, it was honestly you play one of those beats, and I didn't even know how to beatbox at the time.
Yeah.
And you came with the boombox, front page, you played that beat, everybody was killing it. You were killing it, freestyling. Everyone was good, and I'm a young buck. I wasn't even freestyling at the time. I was nervous.
Yeah.
And I was just sitting there. And I remember that beat. And it's like, and yo, listen,
Man has so much beats.
and like yo, but I'm telling you, in my head, I would go home. And that rhythm was staying with me. And I would just be like, and I didn't even know how to beatbox. And I was just beatboxing. And I was freestyling to the fucking beat. Like,
your parents probably thought you was crazy. Like,
No,
what
yo,
is this nigga doing? He's,
but yo,
he's
but-
like, dun-dun-dun.
No, but
like Rain Man and shit.
100%. But the thing is, but I feel like my parents were almost like yours, like very supportive of me and my music.
That's
like,
good.
Like you know what I'm saying? Like my dad also did the disc jockey thing.
Dope.
Would go to the Colombian.
Sure.
Rest in peace to my pops.
Rest in
R.I.P.
peace,
You
Pops.
know what I'm saying? He would go to the Toronto, Columbia clubs over here in downtown Toronto, and he would do his thing, and he'd be, you know what I'm saying, playing the tunes back at home, and he had the mixtape, the tables, and I remember like my first one tracks was Crisscross Jump.
Yeah.
I had the fucking fade with the little rat tail in the back. Which
Yo, shout out to Rat Tail. What you
know
niggas
about
know
the
about
rat
the
tail?
Rat Tail beat?
You know what I'm saying?
I had the rat tail.
Yeah,
I had a rat tail.
I had
Come
the rat
on now.
tail, and that's
Had to.
that's how back in the day we keep.
When you're a 90s kid, that's
Yeah.
what it is.
And my
had
my
wingworm too.
mother and my father always told me, yo, that music is what yo, go for it. Rap, sing, dance. Don't be scared. Don't be ashamed. You know what I'm saying? And so I really do give a lot of credit to my family, and definitely you on the block, the biggest inspiration.
Oh, thank you, bro. Yeah, but like, you know, just to finish with with Rich Kid shit, it was like, yeah, Frank and Dank was the start of that, because that's when I got like my first radio kind of joint.
Right.
They said my name on the joint at the end. They're just like, Rich Kid on the beat.
How that
Keep
feel?
killing it. You know what I mean? I was just like, yo, this is sick. And then, you know, people would hit me and like, yo,
You weren't
Rich-
signed at the time.
Huh?
You weren't signed at the time.
No, I wasn't signed. And people would hit me like, yo, I heard your beat on the radio. I heard
My
your name
dick.
on the radio.
Yeah, no.
So then, you know, that made me say, okay, I need to get my beats out there. Now people are knowing what I'm doing. So let me compile a bunch of joints. Like OT is on the first one. OT and Crizzy have a joint on the first one.
sure.
Goo has a joint on the first one. So
Yeah.
it's like really a lot of rich niggas, and then, you know, Mayhem Moriarty, you know.
But that's what I was gonna say. Is that
before the
what-
snitching?
Is that where you differentiated yourself from being a rapper versus a producer?
Yeah, I guess, because I don't think the majority of like the city, besides like our hood and then maybe like places we would go to perform, would know that I was rapping. Like they mainly see me come out as a producer, and I felt like this is what I'm already doing. I'm already making beats for my crew. Let me expand it out there. It's going to give me a more of a platform. So when I do come with the rap, people know who's doing it, and they know. And you know, at that time, I'm inspired by Kanye. I'm inspired by RZA. I'm inspired by all the producer rappers,
For sure.
right? Especially Kanye at the time, because Kanye.
Yeah,
came
Kanye
out.
was huge.
That was like
Kanye-
graduation,
yeah,
like
2003.
Yo, that's when you
2004.
became the sample king. Oh my
Right.
goodness.
There'd be like sometimes I'd sample certain things, and then niggas would come to me like, "Yo, Kanye stole your sample, bro. Kanye stole your."
Nah,
you have to
I
sue
stole
him, bro."
Kanye shit.
These niggas like, you have to sue him. I'm like, what are you even talking about, bro? Like, everybody samples. It's not.
Yo, the infamous comeback season collab with Drake.
Yeah.
The Search.
Yeah. That wasn't on comeback season.
No,
That was a leftover joint that I ended up just taking and using for my project without his permission.
what song was that called?
The Search. Yeah. The Search with Saukrates.
But with Saukrates.
Yeah.
How did that come about? And I guess like back then, right? Like you didn't know obviously Drake, the magnitude that Drake was gonna have now, but obviously he had something bubbling. Like how did that all come together? And after the track was released, maybe like, you know, whether it was a couple months or a couple years after, like the impact of that track, knowing that Drake is probably one of the biggest artists of our decades, like how did that
Not one of. He is.
He is. How did that?
He is not like is. It's hardly even debatable, which is crazy.
I honestly, I say Drake is the best of our time.
Yeah,
but everyone has their own opinions. How was that for you? Like, how did that all come together? And then having that feeling, like, yeah, got that track with Drizzy before everything even blew up.
Oh well, you know, you don't have that feeling before you're making it because
You don't know.
nothing happened. You know what I mean? But
The night when you made the beat.
But the thing is, Drizzy already had like people already knew who he was because of the Degrassi thing, and then he had already started rapping. He had already put out some joints on the radio and shit like that. So people, I would say in the hip hop community, knew that he was trying to do something, right, and you know, like when we linked up. It was.
Were you guys in the studio together?
No, we weren't in the studio for that joint.
No, you had to.
We were in the studio for other joints on comeback season.
Okay.
The Search, it was just a beat that I sent to him, and then he ended up doing it with Sox.
Nice.
I was in the studio with him when he did Easy to Please, Faded.
Jeez. Okay.
Easy to Please, he was actually supposed to get Styles P on that.
Jeez.
And then he ended up just getting, but ended up just getting Richie Sosa. At the time was rapping. He was on it. But yeah, I think I just sent him the beat and he just jumped on that. But some of the other joints, I was there when he recorded it. You know, we'd be at this place called Carpet Factory. Okay. It's like down by like Liberty Village, like Dufferin and.
Were you signed to a label at this time?
Nope.
No, just independent.
No.
And I think 2009, I believe was like a big year for you. Shout out to Wikipedia. Like I did my homework. Like a lot of things was popping for you.
That was nice. I've had better.
I think like
it's alright.
Busta Rhymes. You did track with Busta Rhymes and MOP. You're in the studio.
It wasn't
Undescribable was the track name.
Yeah, Undescribable. Like that's one. You know, that wasn't Busta's track. It was Billy Dance from MOP.
Okay,
it was his track, and he got Busta on it. And two, they stole the beat from me. So.
Right. They didn't even give nothing.
That's what taught me about the game,
right?
And how niggas don't really care,
right?
Especially because you're Canadian. It's easier to not care, and they wouldn't do it at this point. I don't think they would dare do that to a nigga.
No, because I think that you could.
And I'm not even meaning me. Like it's just
in general
the way the game turns out.
The way the game is right now, you wouldn't want to do that, right? Because. Really, you're either helping put this person on or somebody could sue you or whatever.
Right.
But I think back then in the day, it was kind of like, you know, they found my beat. Actually, you know what happened? It was this A&R named Angel from G-Unit Records. I think he came up to Remix. We had a little session. I played him some beats. He loved them. He was like, yo, I'm going to play these for Fifth. I don't know if he ever played it for Fifth, but MOP was signed to G-Unit at the time. So then I guess Billy Dance heard it. He wanted it for some solo project, got Busta on it. DJ Premier mixed it. And and then they put it out. And then my man Big Pops dope producer. From
Hey, Papa Leo.
right, Mr. Andrew.
Shout out
Papa
Pops,
Leo.
man.
Big producer from Saga. He was actually on the internet. He was on this site called hiphopgame.com. And he heard it and he hit me. He's like, yo, bro, I'm hearing this Billy Danz featuring Busta, and it sounds like something you would make. It literally sounds like your beat. And I love him till this day because, you know what I mean? He's the one that taught me, like, yo, I do have a sound. Right? Like, because I never really would have, like, obviously I notice my sound. I'll hear my sound. But, like, I never noticed that. Other niggas noticed that. Right? So he's just like, yo, bro, that's your beat. So I check it. I'm like, fuck, that is my beat. Like, how the fuck did this nigga get my beat? Like, I'm hearing Busta Rhymes.
Yo, this is
like, yo, I don't know how
social
to,
media days.
Social
come
media
on.
was like infantile. Like, it was the main social media was
Which
like,
means that
like,
you really had to be
like
bubbling
MSN,
in order to
it was
get
like
that.
MSN and fucking that kind of shit.
Right.
Like, maybe
AOL, dial-up.
Wire.
Like, yo, don't.
Black Planet.
No,
Black Planet.
I would tell people, like, don't call me because when you call, the internet connection gets disrupted.
No, you get cut off. You get cut off. It was a little bit after that, though. Don't age me. But like, yeah, like I was just like, fuck, what am I gonna do? And who was it? I think I might be mistaken because I'm kind of high and ripped, but I think it was DJ Respect that got me in touch with getting in touch with Billy Danz. And then I remember I was at Square One Youth Center. Like at this time, I'm still like 19 at the time.
All these connections are happening, and like how are they happening? Like you're like on your Fido,
DJ Respect is another pure region.
I don't respect DJ Respect. We used to book him.
Exactly. So like I guess he had the connection, and
it's all about
hopefully it's DJ Respect. I like hopefully I'm not mistaking it, but I feel like it was him, and he connected me with Billy Danz's link, and I remember I was at Square One Youth Center. This is when I used to go there, just kick it. And I'm talking to Billy Danz on the phone, and he's just like, "Yo, Rich Kid, we loving your beat." I'm just like, all right, cool. What's good with the royalties? He's like, yeah, don't worry, got that covered. I'm like, is there any payment for the beat? Yeah, there's not really anything in the budget right now. I'm just like, all right, so I'm not getting paid for the beat. Okay, it's a look. Like, it made me realize, okay, certain things, I got to control certain things. Right. I got to control who I get my beats to. I got to put tags on my beats if I send them out.
Right.
Because, yeah, it's great getting credit for shit. But, at a certain point, and at this point, I'm trying to build my name up, so I'll allow it.
Take whatever.
I'll allow it because it's for the credit. It's for getting seen. And, when I went to New York and I would tell people, like, yeah, I did this tune, they'll be like, oh, yeah, I heard that on the mixtapes, and I'd get more conversations in. Imagine if I said, yo, take that down, I'm getting a lawyer, cease and desist.
Yeah.
It's ruining my look and ruining my reputation, too. Right? So I built a reputation with Billy Danz. I've talked to Busta here and there. I'm not, like, friends with these niggas or anything like that, but it's just a good rapport, and if they see me, they show love.
Right.
Because, we did something dope.
That's what's up.
Or they did something dope on my beat, didn't tell me, and then told me. And then I just have to accept we did something dope. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
you have to hug it still.
You got to hug it. And it's like, at the end of the day, the street in me is just like, yo, you took something from me? You're a fucking pussy.
In the back, like, yo, you fucking took
right, but the artist in me has to think like, yo, bro, I create this out of nothing.
Yeah,
I'm creating work out of nothing. This is work.
These niggas want my shit.
And
these, you know what I mean? Right. So you gotta
take and give, man. Give and take.
I think out of everybody that the music industry is a totally different beast.
Oh yeah,
and I mean, like, this is kind of like goes into my next question, but working with Canadian legends such as Chaos and Nelly Furtardo and Saukrates.
Yeah.
First of all, congratulations for that.
Thank you.
Because
thank you. I feel like I just outside the music sphere, like I just wish our Canadian legends got more flowers, more media attention, more all of that, so then we would know history. Because I feel like as history goes, we just keep on forgetting niggas, or the youngins keep on forgetting niggas. I like when I came in the game, I had to get educated on who was the guys. It's true. And it's like I might have seen them on Much Music, but I didn't know they were the guys. You know what I mean?
Facts.
Nobody put it like it wasn't taught in school. It wasn't. You know, we're all looking at American rappers. So hopefully this changes over time. I'm gonna find ways to help with that.
As a young African American from the Ridge, all right,
Afro Canadian.
Afro Canadian
Talk to him.
from the Ridge.
Educate the people, B.
How was the mental process working with such big names? I feel at the time, and going off of the success of the track that you had, how did you process all of that and then grow from it?
Yeah, like where was your mental at?
I was living in. Okay, so with that Chaos joint, I was living in Jane and Finch. I was living with my cousin. It was a beat that I fucking made.
The OC sample.
The OC, yeah.
Right?
I sampled it straight off the TV. And I sent it to Saukrates because that's who I was working under.
Okay.
He was like more like my mentor.
Right.
Like I always loved
Shout out to
his
Saukrates.
beats. I remember when I used to see his video Money or Love on fucking Much Music.
Yeah.
And I was just like, yo, who is this nigga? This nigga's different. And I thought,
Yeah, he's dope.
I didn't know he was from Toronto. And then I'd see him in more Toronto videos. Then I see Northern Touch with like Cardi. And I'm seeing all these guys. I'm like, oh, Sox is in it. He's not on the song, but I seen him in the video. I'm like, okay, he's a Toronto. He's from Canada. And then eventually getting to the point to meet him, it was like, okay, dope. I've always loved this guy's, the swag in his beats. It always had like that West Coast feel. And I always felt like at heart I'm a West Coast guy. I like that laid back feel. Like that's why I like going to LA. Like I love that laid back feel. So when I linked up with him, it was kind of like it was him and Andrina Mill. I was working with a lot.
Andrina Mill.
Yeah, because they were signed to Chris Smith Management. Chris Smith is a big management. He was a lawyer.
Okay.
And a big manager, Alicia Cara, Nelly Furtardo.
Oh wow.
Julie Black, a whole bunch of people.
So he went from lawyer to this investment.
Now he's now I think he's just in music.
Yeah,
and I think he manages Alicia Cara now.
Okay,
and a couple other acts, and I think he used to handle Drake shit before before Drake got with just had Ollie and
right
and Future handle, but yeah, I was working a lot under them, and then I remember sending the beat to Sox.
You made it at the crib.
I made it
off of the sample, off of the TV, off of the OC.
Yeah, and I put it in the FL, chopped it up, sampled it, sent it to Sox. He was on tour with Nelly Furtardo.
Yeah,
and Sox used to have his own set on Nelly's tour, and then also played violin.
Okay,
for her as well on tour. He's the ultimate musician.
Yeah,
if you guys don't know Saukrates. Saukrates. This nigga's one of the greatest musicians that ever came out of Toronto. Yeah, so I make the tune for him. He goes on tour, or I make the beat, I send it to him. He goes on tour with Nelly. They write it while they're on the road. He sends it to me before they get off road. I'm like, yo, this tune's dope. And he's like, yeah, I want to use it for my album. The only problem with Sox is, as great as he is a musician, sometimes it takes long for him to put out projects. So he held on to it for a while.
Is that the Rastafari in him?
I don't know. Don't be dissing Rastafari. They might show up at your door, bro.
No, but I mean, I feel like, with jokes aside.
No, I just think,
as an artist, when you're ready to put something out, you'll put it out.
Yeah, I just think he's a perfectionist, or he was
definitely
a perfectionist, right? But yeah, so he sends me to join, and I'm just sitting on it for how many months, and
he's telling you to hold on to it.
Well, there's nothing I'm not gonna go put it out. What am I gonna do at this time? This is not streaming time. This is not,
exactly.
This is a different time.
This is a different time. If you're gonna drop a record, you want a label behind it. You want distribution. You're gonna make a CD. It's it's them times. So I remember he hit me back and he was like, yo, Chaos wants to join. I'm like, oh, okay. Cool.
What does that mean?
What does that mean?
What's the bag at?
They paid me again for a beat. So I already got the first time
How much you get? How much you get for that?
So when Sox bought it, it was $2,500.
Okay.
Back then?
Yeah.
That's good money.
It was good money. The fucked up thing was around the time I got the money, I crashed Peanut's car.
Oh my god!
I was coming, checking a thing in Scarborough, slapped it up, came back to fucking Mississauga. I used to lie to niggas and say, like, yo, a car sideswiped me. I'm lying. I fucking fell asleep.
Wow!
Hit the side of the shit. And luckily I was on the fucking, I already told Peanut I lied about that anyway, so he knows. But,
if not, now you know, Peanut.
You know, Peanut. He knows.
But fucking, it was lucky it was on the 403 where there's no cameras.
Okay, yeah.
I think there's cameras on the QEW. I don't think there's cameras on the 403.
403 because
they got an OPP, station right out the edge of QEW. So luckily there was no cameras that drive that off the road. Told Peanut, like, don't worry, I got you. I'll get you next. So money went straight to that bottom line. So I kept a little bit of the funds from that, but majority went to buying him a new used Honda Civic.
Right.
Or Accord or whatever it was. And then, yes, when Thing bought it, it was a little slightly less. I think it was 2 racks when Chaos bought it.
Right.
But basically, it was the exact same song, just with Chaos's verse on it. Saukrates took out one of his verses. I think if you go on my IG, I have a video. I think I explain how the joint was made, and I play Saukrates' extra verse that he never included, like that nobody ever heard and shit.
Right.
But so when Chaos did it, he hit me up. He called me weirdly one night, like unknown number, and he's just like, hello. This is like 3 a.m. He's like, hello. I'm like, who the fuck is this?
This is a Cabs in the Bucket chaos.
It's like, it's Kevin from heaven.
What?
I'm like, what?
What?
Kevin from heaven.
He's like, Chaos, man. I'm like, oh shit, well, what's good, nigga? Like, I'm sleeping. He's just like, yeah, man, I wrote something to another one of your beats, because I started sending him beats after that. So in the video at the end, you know how the beat switches into a next thing, I sent him that beat, and he did something to it and wanted to he added it to the video without even telling me. Like, I didn't even know until the video came out.
You're in the video.
Huh?
You're in the video.
No, I'm not in the video. I'm not in the video. But like, he uses 2 of my tracks in the video, and I didn't know about the second track until, like, I never even heard it until it came out. So I was just like, yo, bro, what's going on? He's just like, yeah, man, it's dope, right? Yeah, don't worry, I'll pay you for that. I'll pay you for that. And he eventually did, but it was like, nigga, tell me something, bro. I started to get pissed off with niggas, like,
don't be touching my shit, nigga.
There's times I got pissed off with Chaos, and I'm like, wow, I never imagined back in the day I'd get pissed off at guys that I used to watch on TV. Like,
right.
I got pissed off with him. I'm like, yo, bro, pay me for the beat, man.
Stop fucking with my shit, man.
And he's eventually paid me. We've always pieced.
You should have to twist nobody's arm, B.
But the funny thing is, I'll come at him like hard body, and he'll come on some fucking ninja zen shit. He's just like, yo, the spirit is just the essence of the blood and the body. I'm like, what the like, nigga, bro, give me my fucking money, I'll fucking choke you. Yo. Listen, the ninja doesn't stand on one foot. If the tree is quite, he comes with all these.
What?
He came with all these riddles, and it diffuses you. You're like, you don't even want to come.
Yeah.
Like, how am I supposed to get gangster on this?
Because he's so he's trying to keep it so peaceful,
nigga.
But he's also despiteful.
It's the art of misdirection. He's a good nigga though, man. He's a good nigga, talented guy, man.
Yo, you also performed at the Canadian Hip Hop Festival Manifesto.
Yeah. Yeah, headline that shit.
Yeah, headline. Were you
with Saukrates?
With Saukrates, were you at all involved in the creative process of that festival, which actually ultimately led you to receiving a nomination for Producer of the Year, and also Mixtape of the Year 2010?
Okay, that mixtape shit was the Stylist Awards. That was Rich Kid Shit 4. Yeah, Rich Kid Shit 4. I won for that. So that's separate. Manifesto, I think I've always been like kind of involved in terms of like knowing the people that kind of throw it. Che, who's the founder of Manifesto.
Shout out Che.
And like, yeah, it was.
How did that bubble? Just you being in the mix and in the music and all your connections.
It's the community scene.
Yeah.
So you get to meet a lot of people that are like starting up shit and doing dope ideas, and then you're like.
How was the start of all that? How did that all like
manifesto?
Yeah, like because to me, like I do, and I said this before when we were interviewing New. I want to do like a open mic night where I could get people like poetry, slam, music, production. You know what I'm saying? I want to get that started, but I don't really know how. But I have the vision, so this is a perfect question that could interline with that. Like manifesto, how did that start, and your contribution? Obviously,
manifesto ain't that. That's like manifesto is like a big ass festival. That's like 100 steps ahead, right? Like to get a venue
one step at a time.
Like, nigga, if you want to do an open mic, you could. Well, you can't really do it here. It's not too much of big of a space, but like you find a space that's a little bit bigger. Mm-hmm. You holler at the whole artist community. You know, a whole bunch of artists.
Yeah, for sure.
Invite your homegirls, homeboys. Yeah, boom.
That's your open mic right there.
That's your open mic right there.
Yeah.
Right? Like, and then you go to different venues and do it, and then you attach a brand to it. You attach other people, like, Runners Club. You want to sell your clothes over here at this event, or, niggas do food catering. You want to sell your food over here, and then you combine the brands together. And then
before you know it, you have manifesto.
Right? And that's how you get to a manifesto level. I don't know how they exactly started, but I know Che is a photographer first.
Okay.
And he got funding to do this festival, and I was on
from the government.
Yeah, and I was on the first one with but I didn't have a set. It was Junior T and Crooklyn.
Shout out to Junior T.
Shout out the boy Crook.
Yeah,
we just had a show last night.
Yep.
And tonight too, actually.
Yeah, he has.
And thank you for coming out to me.
2 nights, yeah.
I know you were there last night.
Yeah, I was there last night. I didn't have to come. I was just like, there's too many shows, man. I just come to one and support Goo and them.
Yeah.
But Junior T and Crooklyn, when they used to rap at Smash Brothers, they put me on their
Smash Bros.
Right? And then the next year, they asked me to perform, so I put Junior T and Crooklyn on my set.
Jeez.
And then the third year, they had me headline do the after party at Revival.
Okay.
With Ninth Wonder, High Tech, Talib Kweli,
some big names, man.
A whole bunch of other people. And so, I did the show there. And then the fourth year is when I co-headline with J Electronica.
Jeez.
The fifth year is when I performed with Sunreal.
Sunreal.
So that, and then, other years I've been involved. I did the Redway tribute.
Shout out to the boy.
Rest in peace, Redway. Real legend.
Redway, Saga legend.
Redway, Saga legend.
But yeah, I've always been involved with Manifesto because I've always been cool with Che. Che shot, one of my videos, the MBS video when we were in Jamaica. I just always stay tied to the brand, and even now it's like we're working with Remix. We're down the hall from Manifesto. I was just
what is the Remix project for the people? Let the people know what that is.
That was actually one of my questions on here. Ashley and Sos was an intern in the visual arts project.
Remix project is basically like a youth program that helps people that want to get into the entertainment field but face barriers like a lack of resources,
right?
Lack of network or people around them that can help them get into the industry. They need certain kind of training, workshops or stuff like that,
right?
And just a safe space in a community where people, like-minded individuals, can build.
Beautiful.
Right? Jeez. And
how do you come? Well said.
And then ultimately, like, find find your team. Right. Like if you're an artist and you're looking for a team, like looking for a photographer, looking for a PR person, or looking for a videographer, looking for a graphic designer, looking for a producer. How do the people
tap into this? How do the people find you?
You just go to Remix Project on IG, remixproject.ca. The applications are open, so we take
all online.
Yeah, online. We take 45 youth a year, 45 to 50 youth a year.
Beautiful.
15 in each stream. There's recording arts, which I run with a dude named Ricky. There's the creative arts, and then there's the business arts. and in business management, fashion management, PR, in creative photography, videography, graphic design, and recording.
So dope.
It's vocal production, audio engineering, DJing.
Oh, we may join that fucking shit.
So, we cover all these different angles in the entertainment. Obviously, it's not all the angles, but we cover those angles with our mentors. We get people to come in and do talks and lectures. We go on field trips and then just build an experience for the youth in the program to kind of like build a network with their peers from like different hoods, different areas of Toronto. So it's like it expands who you're talking to, who you can build with, and find who you're gonna go into the future with.
That's huge.
A lot of people came out of there. Wonder Girl, Saga Legend.
Yes, shout out to Wonder Girl. Shout out to Matt Mogul,
Jesse Reyes, Savannah Ray, Sage Harris.
Now, when you're doing the application, you gotta when you're doing your application, you gotta come with the application. Like you have to input your work. You know what I mean? Like your music, like you know what I mean? It's actually like you can't just be like, oh, I'm gonna apply. Like you gotta like show them your work, show them your talent.
Yeah. We ask for you to provide like links to your work and stuff like that. And
right. And then you have a recruiter that looks at it, sends it to the, you know what I mean?
Yep. And then we call you in for an interview, and then
listen to anybody out there who's pursuing any type of dream, musically, recording. If you're a photographer, a videographer, the Remix Project, please Google the Remix Project. Rich Kid on there. Do the application. Do not be scared. Do not, you know what I mean? You have to understand. You have to take that level of courage. Get your work out there. Take that leap, and you really have to pursue your dream. So the Remix Project, honestly, was a question that I had on my list, and I really love that we tap into that. So all the youth out there, anybody out there with any type of desire, dreams of being any type of thing, if it involves visual, entertainment, music, arts, tap into the Remix Project, because that's actually an amazing thing that you have brought light to.
And to add on to that, I was in the very first round of Remix back in 06. Before that, it was called Inner City Visions, and they had a location in Etobicoke. And a friend of mine, Clips, from Nice Clothing.
Yeah, shout out Nice Clothing. Shout out the boy Clips.
So I met him through Goudini. Goudini, it's very understated. Goudini introduced me to a lot of shit. Introduced me to a lot of people that led me to a lot of people. And introduced me to FL Studio. So I'd probably be a beat maker, but I wouldn't have started as early if he didn't bring it to my crib. So shout out Goo, man.
Shout out the boy Goo.
Shout out Goo, man.
And here we're gonna have him on the next podcast.
Yes. Can't wait to hear that and see that.
Running gun.
So Clips, he was supposed to be making me a jacket. So we went there to design it, and then I meet Gavin, I meet Drex, who are the founders of Remix, and I hear them talking about this program that they want to start. It's actually a couple times later that I went there, because I needed to get some probation hours. They told me they had a studio there that could take care of some probation hours. I'm like, all right, cool. I'm going to come here and do my probation hours,
Yeah.
And I heard them talking about this program. I'm like, okay, I want to be part of that. They're like, yeah. I'll let you know. And I didn't have to do no interview because I feel like it was the very first round.
Yeah, back then it was like...
it was after the Jane Kreba shooting.
Shit.
Right? Like that was what, 05? So
05,
year of the gun.
Yeah.
So they put a lot of funding into these kind of programs.
Okay.
What Rob Ford used to call Hug a Thug programs.
Okay.
And that was Remix was one of them. And it was just all of us had like charges. Like, it was way more gutter than it is now.
It's more cleaned up now.
More polished now.
Because it's like now it's like there's an industry, or not even an industry, but there's a pathway to the industry. And
there's a chance. There's a real chance.
People made it, right? Like at that time, Drake didn't make it. Like Drake was, I started working with Drake in Remix in like 07 because 40 was my mentor.
Okay.
Right? So, so like that whole kind of like environment kind of helped breed me for the game and helped me understand certain things and built my network. So then I could just go back and bring it to my niggas, right? Like, and do some dope shit for my niggas and expand for that. So, the Remix is a great program. It was a great program then, and it's even better
Still
now.
is now.
Because we didn't have like the classes we have now, right? We didn't have the knowledge. So you have guys like me that have been through the game, been through the program now, and been through the game, work with artists. I could bring back knowledge about labels. I could tell you the real, like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? Not
Like
the
you're
bullshit
saying,
that
like
you're
the
gonna
whole
feature.
the whole chaos thing, or you know what I'm saying, like
Yeah.
whatever. Like now you know, like hey, listen, I experienced this,
Yeah.
so now you can do things this way, or do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like,
I
that's amazing.
tell them to learn from my mistakes, man.
100%.
Like, I'm, you know, by no means was I perfect in what I did or whatever. I like, you know, I don't really even tell them who I am. It's like they kind of
keep working.
A lot of my youths will kind of learn throughout the program who I am. Like, you know, I'll give them the introduction.
Yeah.
But it's like the more classes I teach, the further they get away from like knowing who I am.
Right.
Like maybe the first class was just like, oh, it's Rich Kid. You know, now it's just like, yeah, Rich Kid, he's the homie. It's like, oh, wait, you did that? Oh, you did that? Wait, you did this for Drake? You worked with Drake? Like, you know what I mean? Like, I let them find out that, but it's like,
You worked for Drake before Drake was Drake.
yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
no cap.
Like no cap.
But it's like it's more so they understand. Like, I'm not trying to boss up on them or clout chase for them. It's like, really, I'm just here to help you develop.
Right.
And you know what I mean, I know things. You know what I mean, I don't know everything. I'm learning some shit from them. Like, a lot of them inspire me. Like,
I like that.
Making a beat the other day, one of my youths came in. He's like, "Yo, that beat's sick. Yo, I wonder if that drum beat, like, if it was like a Jersey club mix on it, it'd be sound dope." I was just like, "Oh shit!" Switch up the beat. I was just like,
And it
oh,
was
shit,
fire.
hard. So I love being around these youngins. They teach me shit, right? So
I like
it's a
that.
program.
Can never
where
stop learning, right?
Never stop.
it's a program where the peer mentorship goes back and forth, right? Like they mentor me, I mentor them. We share ideas and shit like that. So at this point now, the program is more formalized. Like back then, it was formalized to get niggas off the street. Now it's more formalized to get you in the game.
Right.
And we have more of the
professionalism.
and we have more of the information and the links.
Yeah.
Like we just
And the links and
we recently just started a series of Warner where they come in every Thursday and talk to our youths, and we do different series.
Amazing,
like one last week, we had the A&Rs from Warner come in. One of my cousins works A&R at Warner, so he came in and talked to him. Just this week we did marketing. Next week we're gonna do publicists and social media.
Teach them something, man.
Just
Teach
like-
to use something.
yo,
man.
I
mean,
need
like,
to get on the remix project.
These are
man.
the things you need to know, man, because
damn.
the game's changing, and it's like
100
you want to be ahead of the curve.
keeping
like,
up with the times.
There's already youngins that are ahead of the curve.
yeah, crazy.
Right, like that are making money. So it's like for the artists that have been grinding for a long time, it's like you got to
Gotta catch
understand
up,
these same waves, so then you can ride them and you can get your music out there in that same
I
way.
like
you
that.
know? Yeah,
That's amazing. Rich, you do not only do music,
Mm.
but I know you do film as well.
Mm.
You had a short film that you worked on that was actually included in TIFF.
Yeah.
Um,
It was called Trespassing.
Trust me. So
You know what? I'm gonna drop that on my gram
on the gram,
like soon. I think I'm gonna because I watched it the other day. And I was like, I never really like.
Yo, listen,
put it out
You're in
the
a
world,
movie,
'cause-
fam.
how was
You're in a movie.
Well, I'm in
No,
a
no,
movie, but
he's-
I'm talking about the one I
he
directed.
directed?
No, but I was watching the TV the other day and seen you in a movie.
Oh yeah, what Akila's Escape or something?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's going on with that?
Yeah, that was my home. Actually,
You're an actor?
so yeah,
He's been acting.
bro. What? You know, like
So the Ridge, bro,
Yo,
actors
dog.
in a
When I was a
certain way.
youth, I was in Kmart commercials, bro. Like I was like
Just super
I was telling
gifted
my
from day
fake
one.
dad, yo, get me that Batman bag, that Batman Returns bag. Batman Returns. That's like what 95, nigga. I've been doing commercials, but that movie project that I did, that was through Remix,
Okay.
and that's what led me to this dude named Charles Officer, who was my.
I was gonna ask you how
Yeah.
how did that happen, and which realm do you love more, the music or the film? Because obviously those are two big
Obviously
different
music,
things,
because I've been doing it more,
Right.
right? So it's got to be music. But I was just gonna say, like, that connection with Charles Officer, who's my mentor for learning how to do film. That's he casted me in that movie. He directed that movie.
Okay.
So it was like it was coming from that. But I got into it through Remix. I was like, I wrote a script one day. It was just based
A
on
random
like
script? You just
It's just
wrote-
based on like me nipping one time and like on this dude's block that like we was cool. We was grabbing work. together. So I was nipping on his block, and then he got locked up, and then I was still nipping on his block, and then these niggas came for me and rushed me. And I was just like, you know, I could dwell on this tragedy, or I could, you know, it's not really a tragedy. It's just shit that happened.
No,
or I could turn it into something. And so I was like,
so you
yo,
wrote about it.
Let me write a story about it. Right. So I I wrote a little script about it. And
how was the writing process? Like, you sat down and you just like, you know, your imagination, putting things together, just like,
I didn't really need to use imagination. I just
went back to
what happened. It's literally just what happened. But like the thing about it was like I wanted it to be like a movie where it takes part. It's like a snapshot in time. It's not like following the whole story of who this character is. I just wanted to start at this point and end at this point.
That's dope.
And it kind of like ends on a cliffhanger. I like those kind of movies. So I was like, okay, Yahoo or Google at the time, how to write a script.
Right.
I found a program called Final Draft. Like I'm that nigga. Like anything I need to know,
I'ma find it.
I'ma just go on Google and
that's
just
what
figure
I
it,
told
type
you
it
before.
up.
Like everything with the podcast, I just YouTube, Google. Like
I heard that on the podcast, and that's what you're. That's.
I Googled you today.
When young niggas
on
don't know shit, I'm just like, how do you not know shit?
Because you don't want to know shit.
Because you don't want to know shit, bro.
Because if
Like,
you really want to know, you gonna find it.
Find that shit.
And thank you for listening to my podcast, by the way. That's actually amazing.
Yeah. Plus, it was the first time, right? So I had to see what I was jumping
getting
into.
into.
But you know, I mean, I enjoyed it, and then you know, heard you talking about your pops, and just you know, like it was dope.
Thank you.
It was dope to listen to.
Thank you.
But yeah, like I found Final Draft, this program called Final Draft, but it was like the demo version.
Okay.
So even on all the script, the original script, it still has Final Draft on it. You know how they put the watermark on the
In
shit?
the back.
Yeah, it has the watermark because I never bought it.
Yeah.
And so I wrote out a whole script, and then I showed it to Gavin, founder of Remix Project, and he was just like, "Yo, what is this?" I'm like, "Yo, it's a script, like just a movie idea I had. Like, yo, you think we could turn it into something? Like, is the video like because we were supposed to have like a videography program in Remix, but it wasn't always like running, right?
Yeah.
Or it was like very selective. But I was just like, yo, can I get into the video? Woof. Nice burp.
Yeah.
Can I get in the video program to like turn this to life, like bring this to life? And he was just like, yo, like let's try to refine this script and bring it to Temple Street Productions. I'm doing something with them right now.
Okay.
So we refined the script, we gave it to him, and then I never heard anything for months. And then he came back to me and he was like, yo, do you want to be part of this this program called City Life Film Project? So you and 11 other people or 10 other people are going to be in this program where you go through different workshops. So it's almost like a remix of just film shit.
Remix but film.
But in a smaller time. And you get to sit down with screenwriters, film people, directors. We went to this place called Spoke Lounge or whatever, downtown, like Portland or whatever. They had a little theater in there, so we would watch movies and dissect them and shit like that. And I went through the whole program because, you know, they promised me like, yo, you're gonna get your movie after this. I'm like, all right. So I sat it out. I had to do a pitch at the end to like Temple Street Productions, which they do a whole bunch of shows on CBC and all that shit. And I had to like actually sell them on the movie, like who the character is. This kid named Terrence who makes beats and wants to pursue a rap career, but he's moonlighted as a drug dealer, trying to make money to afford equipment and shit. He's trying to get
Support his
trying to be cool to this shorty, trying to get her involved in it. She ain't with it. You know, his little cousin wants to get involved, but he doesn't know that he's nipping. He was trying to, you know what I mean? Like all these different storylines, but
that's fucking sick.
But you know what I mean? It's just about this man just being lost in, you know, wanting to do his passion and having to do what he needs to do to make
to
it
get
rock,
there.
right? And then the trials and tribulations. So it doesn't glorify anything. It shows the raw side of it, right?
Right.
So I did that.
The work,
right? And they fucked with it, and they spent I think it was like 45. We spent 45 racks on it. They gave me a budget of 45 racks and gave me a $5,000 grant. So I went and bought some cameras and shit for myself. That didn't have to do with the movie. They just give you a grant,
right?
And then
that is dope.
We spent I think about 3 days shooting the movie. We shot in Bleecker, downtown Parliament and Wellesley area. We shot in the gay village. We shot in a club in the gay village because we had a club scene. And with movies, it's like you want to keep, or even TV, you want to keep all the locations
close
around each other, right? So the closest club was in the gay area. I remember when we had to go scout it, and I come into this club. It's called Cruise and Tangos. I go in there and it has all the rainbows hanging. I'm like, yeah, these are gonna have to go. I don't know if these could be in the show.
But that's sick that you were a part of all the production.
It's not part. I was it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like I'm the director. I'm the screenwriter. I'm the fucking.
And that was like your first.
I scored it and I edited it.
Right.
You know what I mean? So
and you edited it.
It was
thanks
a crazy
to the remix
experience.
project.
It was all thanks to remix, and it was like I had a scene on the bus, Osh was in a couple scenes. The man them were playing the car. I think Booga was in there too. He was playing the scene where I get rushed, so Booga's beating me up. I have a homie named Tremaine. He plays.
Shout out.
There's a scene where the main character Shamari Downer, who's supposed to be playing me. He's a homie. He's in Aquila's Escape. Okay. He's the one that's he's kind of like the main kid that's in the movie. That the movie's kind of based on.
Yeah.
He's the guy with the bandana that's always around the kid, and he pulls a gun on the kid at the end and lets him go. So he plays me in the movie. Okay. He goes to a club and then he sees a guy rapping on stage and he's looking at the guy like, yo, I want to be that guy. And that guy's rapping one of my songs. That my man Tremaine now he's in what is it? Is it BMF? I think he's in BMF now. A couple of the other actors are doing shit in Vancouver. It's great to see a lot of people that were in the movie go off and expand and do bigger things. And then some of them I'm still working with till this day. So yeah, that's how it was remix that allowed me to do that and get my hands into filmmaking. And I love it because it's a different way to tell a narrative, right? Like through visuals, and it puts you on task because you're in that moment and you have to shoot the scene the right way. Like you have to understand how you want to shoot it because money is wasting.
You need some extras for your next movie, or
No, for sure, for sure. The man are always involved, right? But
let me know now.
Yeah,
I'm a star boy, I'm a star boy.
No, I can see. I can see by the coat. I don't know what animal you killed to get that coat. It must be a rare one.
Yo, the killer and the chinchilla now. I'm gonna call him now. Chinchilla. Yo, did all of that lead you into the Vice and Noisy documentaries that you did in the indigenous culture?
Yeah,
for hip hop, that was mad.
Vice happened. Vice just happened because I knew a dude, this dude named Slava, who used to work at Vice. He's kind of like an infamous guy now because I don't know if some people might know the story. He got involved with, allegedly getting a guy to move some coke from fucking one fucking country to another.
Typical Colombian shit.
And then that kind of exposed Vice Canada. Vice Canada hasn't been the same since then. But Slava was a guy that, he'd always be around the hip hop culture in the city, and we linked up at a Vice show that I did with Raz Fresco one time, and he was like, "Yo, I want to do a doc with you." I'm like, "Yeah, bet." But even before that, I had met with this guy named Pat McGuire, who was kind of his superior. Okay, and we did a documentary on just Toronto culture. Okay, so
he reached out to you for that.
Yeah, so it was.
Is that like a right place, right time type of thing, or you just connected and you're at the right spots at the right events and they're there and you make it happen?
I think by that time I had already built a reputation in the city. Yeah, I always had a manager, but I think I built a reputation in the city for doing dope performances, right? And my personality was kind of out there in some ways.
Always personality. Always.
When I met those guys at the Vice party, and then I had done a Vice show, they're like, "Yo, let's do something." And then I did that. I did the Life in Toronto doc. That's where I actually broke my ankle in the documentary fooling around with this white bitch throwing water on each other in the Caravana parade, and then
Oh my God!
and then I broke my ankle, and then
I think I remember you seeing and like you're in a
oh
stretcher.
yeah, it was a stretcher and shit like that. It was crazy. Yeah,
Caravan.
I got T-Pain like stories, man. It was embarrassing shit. but that is what led to like them wanting to do more shit. And Slava came at me. He's like, "Yo, do you want to go to Nunavut?" I'm like, yeah,
I couldn't even pronounce the place where it was.
Yeah. Oh, that's why you didn't say it. You said
it was like Equalit.
Yeah, I don't even know if I'm saying it right.
But yo, like you were hella cold out there. I know that.
I had my North Face, so I was good.
No, you needed it.
Or no, I had the goose. I had the goose.
Yeah, the goose. Huh?
I had the goose, and I was sipping Grey Goose up there. Actually, no whiskey, but we went up there to do like kind of like a feature on the culture up there.
Okay,
like their education, music scene. I interviewed like a couple of different music artists. This one band called the Jerry Cans. Okay, and then this next artist that does throat singing, and it's like, you know, it's just like random noises from their throat, but they do it in rhythmic ways, and that's how they used to.
Kind of like my beatbox earlier, but a lot better.
It's kind of like beatbox, but that's how the natives used to tell stories to each other and you know, sing to each other. You have to tap into the culture out there. And it was great. There was even like certain like Toronto mans up there like surprised that we were up there. He's like, "Yo, there's people like me up there." I was like, "Yo, there's people who are like also up there." Like I'm like, "Damn." And it's like they make money up there, but it's like the rent's expensive. It's fucking cold.
Cost of living's through the roof.
You know, like
a bottle of ketchup out there is like $20, like whatever, like $10, $20.
A Nestle fucking Pure Life bottle is like $9.
Crazy.
Like for Flint, Michigan water is $9. It's crazy.
That's crazy.
Head of cabbage is $30.
And like that's a whole other can of worms too,
right?
Because you know, like they've like literally the indigenous people have definitely been like pushed aside. And obviously, everything that's been happening now, especially with social media and the awareness, like you know.
See, like like going up there, I learned a little bit about that, but it was more so doing the second documentary or the third documentary on Aboriginal hip hop.
One was First Out Here was the
first
second one,
yeah,
and then the first one
was the Nunavut one.
Was the Nunavut one,
right? But like that's actually the second one and the third one because the first one was with Vice, and then. Actually, all of them were with Noisy. Noisy is part of Vice, right?
Noisy part of Vice, yeah.
But I think the Nunavut one was more with Vice. I think it was on Vice and shit. Either way, the first Out Here was the one where we actually went to Regina, Winnipeg, and then we went to Scarborough. But Regina and Winnipeg is like the eye opener for me, like understanding Native culture and how. It relates to a lot like how black people are going through shit.
Yeah. True.
But like whether, you know, you're stolen from your land or your land's stolen.
Right.
Same kind of shit. And like the problems that are happening in the community that's hard to reverse because they've been
like
so
that for
oppressed.
so long.
Yeah.
When your community's been oppressed for so long is gonna and you know, even uneducated for so long because they've been outcasted.
Yes.
Right? Into the reserves. They're like, okay, yeah, you can only get your benefits of your land if you're not here.
Right.
Yeah.
And then the ones that do live in the city, they don't have support of, you know, family or don't have the support of a community because they're all out there. But then when you go out there, there's no running water, there's no fucking electricity sometimes, no Wi-Fi, like rough.
Yeah.
So it's like actually going to the reses and seeing like kids run up to me with like barefoot and like on dusty road and feel my hair because they never seen a black person before in real life. Right, like them kind of things is crazy. Going to the residential schools where my man Dreesus, who were interviewing, like where you know there was a lot of sexual abuse, where they're killing kids. You heard all this year how they're finding and digging up kids. They're probably gonna find some kids dug up at that place we went to, right? Like because that shit was happening. So it really opened my eyes and really made me respect the culture a lot more. Their resilience, how they're strong, how they've been able to preserve it. And you know, like anyhow, I could be an advocate for it. You know, I support whatever they do. Any one of my Aboriginal homies, or just the culture, because I understand like they've been fighting hard to keep it alive.
Facts,
right? The white people have been trying to kill them dead, genocide and shit, but they've been strong, just like black folk, just like Latino folk. So it's like, you know, I respect it. I respect the culture.
That's actually pretty crazy because for me it was like to actually see that happen and then to read it that you were able to experience that must have been such like a crazy thing. I don't know if you remember, but there was they had like a show. They had a show and it was about like the Aboriginals and stuff. I don't know if you know. I forget the name of it, but it was like an actual show and it's like
like a series show.
Yeah, like a series show. And I was just like, damn, like that made me think of that. But from someone to be from the Ridge and then to explore the country and the world and to like go to all sorts of places,
doing
like
what he
that,
loves.
like, that's amazing. And for you, and like I'm just like so proud just to even like know you and like understand that like you can do it. Anybody else could live up to those expectations.
But you know what? It's crazy. You say the world like, and I have, but it's like, you know, we're talking none of it. That's here.
Yeah, that's
right. Like it felt weird to go there and still use Canadian money. Like, you know, when you go to like a Vancouver or something, and you're still using Canadian money. You're like, I feel like I'm in a foreign place though. Right. Yeah. Like, because nowhere is like Toronto. Nowhere is like Toronto or Saga.
It's true.
Or the GTA anywhere else in Canada. So yeah, when you go out there, you feel like you're in a different country. But it's like, I feel like I've been blessed to go out to those places to really discover what this country actually looks like. Because, you know, sometimes I feel like back in the day we had the impression that, you know, when we blow up with music, everybody's going to fuck with it. You know, we just got to get on flow. Right. And then everyone's going to fuck with the shit. But then it's like you leave here, it's like, okay, flow doesn't even reach out here. Facts. Flow doesn't even reach past like fucking Ajax.
Facts.
You know what I mean? But it's like, then the demographics all milky white. You know what I mean? It's you know, you go to Vancouver, might be white and Chinese.
That's exactly
the only time like you go out east, see black people is if you go all the way to Scotia and they're in the outskirts. They're not even in the city, and it's racist out there too. And then up north, it's just native. So it's like it's interesting to go see the different demographics and how it's not like a States and how the next major cities you have to fly to, right? Like it makes sense why it's harder for a Canadian artist to bust up here than in the States. Like you have so many different markets you can drive.
But it's so far.
You can drive to the next market, like in the next 2 hours, you can go to the next big city. You can
that's America,
city.
whereas
That's
where
America.
It's here. Everything's so
no,
far.
You got to fly. You got to, you know, to go to Montreal, 4 hours, 5 hours, Ottawa, BC. Same shit. Fucking BC. You got to fly. You know what I mean? Drive. I've driven to fucking BC from fucking Winnipeg. It took us like a fucking day.
Yeah.
Day and a half, right?
For everybody out there, for like mentally as a person, like you've come from one point and you're here now. What were like the main things that kind of kept you on track and kept you focused through the music, through the film, through the traveling, through the highs and the lows? If you could give anybody out there a piece of advice through the mental process, the spiritual process, what would you have to say to anybody out there who is really just trying to like move forward in their dreams and their passions, whether it's film, whether it's rap, whether it's anything in their lives? Like I just want you to give kind of like a closing statement because you have been through so much and you have done so much.
Yeah, I think it's like being happy with what you do. Like I've always been happy with everything I do.
That's why it doesn't feel like work, right?
Right. It doesn't. Like even when I'm working with Remix, it's not a 9 to 5. It's a 2 to 8, and I'm spending my 2 to 8 building the next generation of artists, helping them mold them into. And I pick who's in the program, so it's not like there's no lame niggas or no weirdos.
Shout you out for
that
one.
Like there's thorough people and dope artists that I feel like are gonna do great. So that's my job daily. Then, you know, I work with Idman, an artist that came from my remix program that she's now signed to Arista Sony. We just dropped a couple of her singles. They're doing well and, you know, going to drop her album next year. So that's the artist I'm focusing on. You know what I mean? Like, you know, I work with the artists I still came up with Sunreal, making joints for his album. I'm helping consult with different brands and shit. Like, I do what I love to do. I do what makes me happy. I don't do shit. I I understand in my life if I'm doing something that's not making me happy, it doesn't move, it doesn't go, it doesn't push the needle. So, do what makes you happy, man. Like, and find
energy.
And if you don't know what it is, fucking find it, man. Spend your life trying to find that, because at the end of the day, you're gonna you spend so much time thinking about your job, and you're gonna die, and then they're gonna fucking replace you. You know what I mean? Like, they're just gonna fucking find.
Might as well do something that makes you happy, nigga.
Right? Like, when you do stuff that makes you happy, and you do shit for your family and do shit for the love, it's like that shit don't die. That's not easily replaceable. That's remembered, right? Like, it holds some spots in people's hearts and their minds. And I'm trying to do shit that people could see I'm happy doing. Right. So like doing that movie shit. Even if I never do another movie again, I was like, yo, I always wanted to do a fucking movie, and I did.
I was in that shit,
and I cast my niggas in it, and I scored the shit.
Crazy.
And I fucking debuted at TIFF, and
amazing.
You know what I mean, like, obviously, hey, nigga, I could always do bigger and better.
Did you ever
I know I can, but it's like, it's not, for me, it's never been about that. Right. I feel like my life has always been about to make it a highlight reel so I can live till when I'm old and laugh at that shit and be like, yo, I did some dope shit.
And
I don't care if it doesn't appeal to anybody in the future. I just want to know I did it.
Right.
Why the fuck not? Because I already know what it is to live with regrets. I don't like that shit. So just do shit.
I love that.
Be happy.
Amen to that, man.
Did you, like, from the bottom of my heart, man, like, was there any financial struggles growing up that you kind of had to figure out that, like, you were just like, that you were just like, well, like, still
where we come from, nigga?
Still to this day, you're just like, how did I make it out of that?
Hey, I'm black.
I'm proud.
You're right. Like, we all grew up broke, or not all of us grew up broke, but it's like, it's a thing where it's like, yo, sometimes you don't even realize you're broke when you're broke.
Right.
Right? Like, if you have good
You
parents,
still had everything you needed.
right? And that's the thing. It's like, I was broke. We were broke, but I don't think we were poor.
Yeah.
We weren't poor.
Right.
You know what I mean? We weren't piss poor. Like, even though we're in community housing, it's like we weren't piss poor.
Nah, nigga, we were broke A.
Right, exactly. You know what I mean? And that's the thing. We had hardworking parents, right? Like,
yes.
I feel like the only way you're poor if your like parents were on disability, and you know what I mean, like stuff like that. And there was a couple people in the hood that had their parents like that. But my mom was a hard worker. My step pops was a hard worker. My dad, even though when he was around and he wasn't even really like a dad, he was still a hard worker. He still went to work every day and grinded. So, that's where I get that shit from. You know what I mean? Like,
I truly feel like our era, our time, how we grew up was always about survival. Yeah. Whereas now, you could teach your kids about financial literacy and so on and so forth.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it was more about survival than thriving.
Thank you.
Right,
that's the better way to put it.
Now we're trying to thrive.
We're trying to thrive.
It's not enough to just live. We gotta maximize, because we want generations ahead to just be at that same level.
Thing.
To be at the same level as white folk, man. Let's be real, bro.
That's true.
We want to be. We need our minorities to be the same level as the white folk, and they're ahead because they be teaching their kids about financial literacy, from young, getting them bank accounts, investing, and fucking getting them.
They're born into this shit,
right? So, it's that kind of shit. And, I'm happy that, we're the generation that's helping change that narrative.
Oh, yeah. This is the start right here.
It's the start.
This is what it's all about. Educating the people,
Facts, man.
Yo, listen, from the bottom of my heart, I want to say thank you for coming on. Thank you for all your contributions, for the Ridge, to the Canadian music hip hop scene, for the music, the remix project, everything that you've done. Yeah, it's you. You know what I'm saying? Yo, listen, man. Shout out to fucking Souls. Shout out to my dog Stool. Shout out to the Waterfront.
Shout out to Gang.
Listen, it's your boy Guapo, man.
It's your boy PT.
It's your boy Rich Kid.
And this is the game called Life, man.
Yeah, it
You got too much sugar, girl. Better get you Now I've heard that you catch more bees with honey, but what about the A's?
Love.
You making all that noise and poison. I become the interval with one simple phrase. And skip over the B to the Z team. Go into a party with the Alpha sorority. And if you ain't got a ticket, man, kick a can. I'll be in the VI, impressing my priority. Groupie love, way overrated. The only time you say that about the game
Where's
is
the beat?
if you played it. She a grown ass woman, shit. Wonder what she
You gotta load the beat. I need to hear a primetime freestyle.
What?
I need to hear a PT freestyle. I haven't heard that in a minute.
Yo, I already know. We're gonna end it off like this, though. Let's see what we're doing now.
Rap, a nigga. Sniper gang. They need a freestyle for them.
What's this? A lo-fi beat.
High beat.
Start selling online with Shopify.
Just gotta show everybody
the
what the
e-commerce
what the
platform
red
that's
block is all
trusted by
about.
Hey, bitch. I don't freestyle no more. I'm gonna do it so raw. Listen, I got some gin in my cup. Your girlfriend licking my nut. I'm like, bitch, what's up? She sucking my dick up until she hiccup. You niggas know me. This is a stick up. Put up your hands, nigga. Give me all the chips before I have to kick you in your shin. Your niggas know me, I just live to get the win. You niggas can't fuck with me, your weight is real thin. Nigga, I bulked up, nigga know me, what they seen. Nigga, me drinking some creatine, getting big, so lean. Niggas ain't seen me on the scene, but I be smoking that green. I got a backwood, it's honey bourbon. Indian girl in a turban. And we driving in a big Suburban. And we eating on that chicken bourbon. Bourbon St. Grill. Y'all niggas know me.
I got you.
Yeah. Do women even wear turbans? Indian bitches. I think only the men wear turbans. Hey. It's survival of the fittest. God be my witness. I'ma get this in like fitness, running on the track. Niggas can't see me, they looking at my back. Fuck that, this is a fact. I don't wanna hit you with that Mac, but then when that Mac hit you, it hit you like a Mac truck. Fuck, niggas out of luck. You niggas know me, and man, I'm all about the bucks. My name is Rich, you a bitch. You can't fuck with me, man. I leave you laying where the niggas fish. Niggas know me, it's a C when I come through. Rep the B's and the C's and the G's and the GD's. All my niggas see me, I spread around like VD. Venereal disease. You can't fuck with me, nigga. The cat for the cheese. The rat with the cheese. Nah, you a rat, please. Can't fuck with me or my team. Fuck that, we make you melt like ice cream. Nigga so high, I might need Visine. Nigga so high, can't see. What the fuck is this? Niggas calling me at 6:46 on my phone. Hey. I was about to switch it to Biggie, but my name is Richie. Y'all niggas know when I get high, I'm Iggy. Man, I roll up a Ziggy. I get real high, I get jiggy like Will Smith. Niggas got the ill fifth, hit you up in your back. You niggas need a wheelchair. And 10 years later, nigga, you still there, paralyzed. You ain't using your pair of eyes. I'm using a paradise. I'm trying to fly and live in a paradise. Go to Aruba, maybe Cuba, and then I have a bad bitch come suck me like a Cuba. Or a tuba. Or maybe go low, kinda like a scuba. You niggas know Rich Kid came out the ridge with a couple niggas coming out the bridge. Still hit you up. A nigga so cold like the fridge might lift you up like the fifth. Or forklift. Fuck that. When my forklift, I'm eating dinner. Niggas know I'm a sinner. I get it in from the ending to beginner. And get it from the summer to winter. You niggas can't fuck with me, I'll straight spin ya.
Flow so nasty, style just classy. I ain't gon' let this money just get past me. Warning, dude, if you wanna get at me, one touch, I'll get popped like acne. Exotic islands, yacht cruise, she wildin'. She kinda like a Persian, stay flooding in diamonds. Money stay green like grass. Dude got cash, making money on my ass. See, once I was poor, but now the kid is rich. Real estate, try to making money when I shit. See these honeys on my dick, cause my money doing flips. Something like a casino, baby, always stacking chips. Something like a car dealer, always push a whip. Baby, blue watch, I call it the ocean. My pussy like wave, cause it's always in motion. The creamy white bands, and I call it my lotion. Rolling with PT, and my nigga Rich Kid. Phone from the block, from the rich shit. Yeah, you know I'm on some big shit. Tryna go and get it, you know I ain't gonna let time pass. I'm spitting this shit on this podcast, nigga.
Hey.
Bang, bang, bang. Hey. Bang, 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 bang.
Yeah. We go in it like that. Real rich block connection. Shout out to my
Bang,
dog,
bang.
Rich Kid. Shout
I'm a
out to
Highland
PT.
boy. I'm just trying to make it. Island boy. Bah.
You already know, and it's just like that.
Yeah, it's your boy Guapo, and I'm here with my co-host PT, and we are Talk of the Times. As we wrap up today's episode, we are always looking forward to hearing back from our listeners, so please follow us on Instagram and all of our social media outlets at Talk of the Times with a Z. Follow our journey, download and stream now on Spotify, Apple Music, and all your podcast listening stations. This Game Called Life podcast, where we will be giving you game on everything from trials and tribulations, love, relationships, community growth, mental health awareness, and motivational affirmations. You only got one life to live. Tune in and see how we live ours.